What's going on, guys? What is going on? We're about 1 minute to CPI. Just trying to get my trading set up. Regine, what's going on? Striker served Lewis. D block. Thought Z forgot about CPI. Impossible, bro. Impossible. Hit that thumbs up.
Welcome back to Swatch Box. Rick Santelli here live at CME HQ with October breaking CPI news. Headline CPI expected up 0.2, delivers up 0.2, exactly as expected. Strip out inflation, up 0.3, exactly as expected. If you look at year over year, 2.6, as expected, but 0.2 hotter than the rear view mirror. 0.2 hotter than the rear view mirror. That is basically a very important issue to pay attention to, considering that this really has been, out of all the inflation metrics, following a linear path down pretty much every month this year. So we see that pop. If we look at year-over-year core, ex-food and energy, 3.3. And once again, it's exactly as we expected, like all this data was, and this one does equal the rear-view mirror at 3.3. 3.3 is the highest since it was in May at 3.4. We've had 3.2 2 months in a row prior to this. So you could say it's a bit warmer. Now, if we look at the indexes, and I like to look at the indexes once again continue to move higher to all-time forever highs, whether it's the index headline or the index core. Now, I very rarely look at real average hourly earnings, but they are so lofty. On a year-over-year basis, 1.4, same as last month, but that's the best since June of 23. That's real hourly earnings year-over-year. If we look at real weekly earnings year-over-year, at 1.4%, that's the best since March of 21. Real means inflation adjusted. We need to pay attention to that as the equities have been on a tear for the most part since the election. We see that yields initially moved a bit lower. I would suspect that that's going to reverse a little bit. We see pre-opening equities, of course, have popped as well. The market seems to have it right. It saw yields run up a little bit on inflation yesterday. And these numbers, though as expected, certainly don't have a frigid air about them. Andrew, back to you.
Thank you, Rick. We've also got some other breaking news, and we're going to get back to you in just a moment. But I want to get over to David Faber down at the New York Stock Exchange. He's got some other breaking news to bring us just now.
Yeah, Andrew, it involves Liberty Media, of course, a company run by Greg Maffei for many years, of course, Chairman John Malone. Tomorrow, the Investor Day for Liberty, and they've got a lot of news that they're announcing right now ahead of that Investor Day tomorrow. First bit is involving Charter, the large cable company, of course, of which they own about 45.6 million shares. Have owned a stake in that for a long time. They've been in talks to try to basically collapse that structure, to come up with a deal under which Charter would buy Liberty Broadband.
So CPI came in line with expectations, which was 2.6, I believe. Yeah, the forecast was 2.6 year over year. It came in at 2.6 year over year. So not a huge surprise there. Definitely higher than last month, but it was expected to come in higher than last month. Brian says, loving the Tesla call. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. We made a killing on Tesla, and I think that it continues, by the way. I think that it continues. I sent out my levels in the Discord yesterday, but after filling this gap here, I could see a case for the Santa rally to continue. It could retrace some more, at which point that 300 level, this level right here, 300.55, is an area that I'm looking to enter into more aggressive plays, like poor man's cover calls for next year, essentially buying a leap and then selling calls against it in order to lower my cost. So initially on NQ and ES, I think that obviously, like we always talk about with FOMC and with CPI, you're going to get a manipulative move before we see the real move, right? The manipulative move here was to the upside, obviously on the news that we came in line on inflation, right? But you see this PO3 where we have this consolidation. This right here is the manipulation, and essentially you want to see a manipulation to an area where we have major liquidity, either above a previous high or what? Either above a previous high or into some sort of imbalance, right? So we took yesterday's PM high. We didn't take yesterday's high. I don't know that we take yesterday's high. Maybe. I do think we take yesterday's high. Looking at this here, we have equal highs here. I think it's very possible to take that into this imbalance. That's my target for NQ. Taking these highs into this imbalance. ES is about to take, no, Tuesday's highs right here. So I don't know if ES will take Tuesday's high. NQ looks like it might. David Martinez, I got my fat ass up yesterday and ran a 5K. Awesome, bro. I don't know if that's like, were you struggling to do that or? Awesome. I mean, anytime you get it in, awesome. So I think that yields, there's going to be a play on yields here. I still believe that this run up in the 10-year is seasonal and is just based on fears of inflation about the Trump administration. So I think that eventually, like, we could get a run up. I don't know that we hit that 5 on the 10-year yield, but I do think that yields will tame. However, as you guys know, I am looking at that 10-year, 3-month yield right here. Wanting to see this uninvert. And for that to happen, either the 3-month has to come down or the 10-year has to go up, or both, right? So once this uninverts, then I will likely engage again with bonds. I do have a bond position. As I've told you before, I'm not yet fully invested in bonds. Did make a good amount of money because we did get into them a little bit in November of 2023. So TLT, we got in the mid 80s. It did run up nice to 100, but it is now dropping back to that 90 level. And I'm very intent on building up a bigger position on bonds for the next few years, for the next couple years. And once this uninverts right here, then I will look to build. Let me see what they're going to say about CPI. They stopped talking about that other shitty company. 1 second.
Steve, why don't you go first? And by the way, Dow futures indicated up by 80 points. S&P futures up by 14. The NASDAQ up by 45.
So here's what happened. We now understand how and why the market was trading the way it was before the number. They were taking a position, it would appear, on this number being hotter than expected. So what's happened is that whole trade now has kind of backed off. It's backed off.
Meaning for anybody who's looking at the stock market move on this, they were thinking that if inflation was higher, the Fed would not be able to cut rates.
Right. So
the next meeting, and that would be bad short term.
The whole complex of Fed probabilities had come down before this number, and now they're right back up to where they were. I don't know if my terrific producer has been able to create that chart I asked her to do before and after the meeting, before and after the number, which I just asked her 30 seconds ago, so it might be a little bit early to ask her for that.
Did this fool just put his coworker on blast? He said I asked her to do that before. Like she didn't do it?
20 points on this number. The market was scared of this number. We thought we had gotten to a place. There's the U.S. Treasury right there. You can see. Can you see it's coming back down? Yeah. So that explains. I didn't know what was going on this morning, but now we know. There was a big trade we talked about in the December SOFR contract. Somebody was saying, you know, I'm taking a bet against the Fed cutting. It's right back. It's 86%. I'm seeing inflation up and down across the board. The problem is not anything inside it. It's the top line numbers. It's that they're kind of stuck, kind of stubborn, especially on the core rate, which at 3.3, the 2.6 you could argue is within the Fed's target because it translates to PCE about a half a point hotter. So that's okay. The 3.3, the core is where the problem is. We didn't get any help in housing this time around. It was still 0.4 on OER. So we're still kind of.
At least it wasn't the market discounting Trump's tariffs. I mean, not everyone's doing that yet, but people will be very ready if there's a move in yields higher. We'll be very ready to attribute it to the upcoming policies that Trump.
Joe, I am talking to people, I believe, who are either neutral on the president-elect or his supporters. They're all sort of saying that this rise in yield is linked to the outlook for fiscal policy, be it tariffs, be it spending.
That's what I mean.
But that's what I'm hearing from his supporters.
I understand, and I'm not saying that's not. It's a real thing, but it looked like it was happening before he's even inaugurated. Which now we know maybe this really wasn't the beginning of a long-term move up based on tariffs. This looks like it had to do with fear about
this morning, right. But overall, you're still up on the 10-year. You're still up on the 2-year.
But we're up since the Fed cut 50 basis points.
Right. And we've moved up steadily higher ever since. Tiffany, why don't you jump in and weigh in on your concerns?
Yeah, make some sense of this.
Inflation. Is this a big deal? Is it not? Maybe the zero.
So, as you can see, NASDAQ drew up that level, told you that we were going there. And I think we sandblast that level there, which is the 1 hour fair value gap above these equal highs. I think that's where we're heading on NASDAQ. They're talking about the potential for inflation, whether the market is pricing in inflation under Trump. I think initially they did, which is why you saw the 10-year start to rally, right? It started to rally after the Fed rate cuts, which I thought was typical, but then it started rallying to sort of an abnormal. Like I thought we'd get an initial rally after the rate cuts. We cut rates here, by the way. So I thought we'd get an initial rally, like a sell the news effect on bonds before, potentially continuing down, but it just kept going. And then after the election, it went even higher. And this is because there was an initial response to Trump's tariff policy being inflationary. However, we've seen this already. Like, this isn't anything new. So I don't know if you got how close you guys were to the tariff conversations during the first Trump presidency from 2016 to 2020. He did implement tariffs on Chinese goods. However, on companies where it would affect the price of Americans too drastically, so Apple being a great example, he made exceptions, and he will make exceptions for Apple. He will make exceptions for Tesla. We've already seen that. Like, there's no way that iPhones are going to be $5,000 in the U.S. That would just kill Apple, right? And we saw that he was at least open to listening to our business leaders like Tim Apple, who went to go see him and told him that the price of iPhones is going to be 5Gs a piece if you continue down this path and don't give us exceptions. So he made an exception for Apple. So, you know, the media likes to hype things up and say, oh, the tariffs are going to be on all Chinese goods, and our Nikes are gonna cost $500, and iPhones are going to cost $5,000. That's just not the case, right? They're going to be very strategic tit for tat type of tariffs where China will also put tariffs on U.S. goods, but it's not going to be tariffs across the board. So I hope that's clear, and we've already seen that before.
So that's really how you can describe what's going on in the equity market.
What's he doing with his hands?
Economists, Steve was talking about economists maybe like being right down the fairway. Boy, is that not true. Whether it's the economists that talked about the Inflation Reduction Act not causing inflation, or the 23 Nobel laureates who said we're going to really see the market get whacked after Trump gets in. You know what? If there's anything to be learned by this, is that you said economists? Is that economists are politically motivated, like many people in society? I don't know. I don't know that there's anybody I've ever met who has no opinion on politics, but they should keep it from coming into the marketplace. And as far as being blamed for everything that happens with rates going higher, Joe, of course you're correct. And maybe there would be some truth to that, but they will make it a truth long before that information is evident.
Well, Steve will be here to discount it.
I was talking about.
So we got that.
I agree with him that the economists have been more downbeat on what on Trump's plans. But I want to make one quick point, which is talking about what Tiffany was saying. What I'm hearing from the Fed right now is not so much December being in doubt. It's all of this doubt being imparted about next year. Right. That's where the doubt comes in. And there's those probabilities. Betsy gets it going for the win right there. You can see what's happened before. Those blue bars being higher than the yellow bars. You don't have to read the numbers at home or on the radio.
Pretty significant.
The probabilities are higher now. And so that trade went away. And the key here is that I think December is still a good bet. But the Fed is imparting a lot of uncertainty about what it's going to do next year, and that may be linked to the fiscal outlook right there.
All right. Steve, Rick, Tiffany, thank you all.
Okay. Coming up, we're going to take a deep dive into the potential tariffs in the next White House administration.
All right, we'll see what they talk about with tariffs. I'm actually interested for that conversation. Also, I just want to say, if you guys are not part of the mastermind, I recognize some names on here that are. We're doing a free trading mastermind November 24th. I'm going to put it in the chat. First 1,000 people to sign up get in, and then it's capped. If you're already part of the mastermind, don't sign up. Free trading mastermind November 24th. And this is a Sunday, and it's before Thanksgiving. So, before your mind gets drowned in turkey and yams, at least you get to learn something and hopefully take your trading to the next level, getting ready for the new year. First, time to do some longs. Amazing. I would love to see that. Random moments. Make sure you sign up. The link is at the top of the chat on YouTube. All right. Man, I was hoping to get a little bit more of a retracement on Tesla. I sent out the levels yesterday in the Discord. And the filling of this gap here, that could be it. That could be it, especially because I was looking at the volume, and the volume on the retracement, which is this is the volume on the upswing. This is the volume on the retracement. So you want to see big volume on the upswing and little volume on the retracement, and then continued volume on the upswing. Hello, I just signed in. Hello. And also, who are you? I'm just kidding. 50% ETH at the moment. No idea what that means. Where's Bitcoin, guys? We're going to 100K. Don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up. This is going to 100K before Santa. Bro's got to make an entrance. Yes. Guys, hit that thumbs up. I don't know. How many of you are here? Let's see. What? Only 800? Still. It's too early for some people. There's 112 likes. That's paltry, guys. We need as many likes as there are people here. Jonathan North, the movie The Substance was great. Who's in it? I keep hearing about this movie. Doge to $1? Yeah, I said that a few weeks ago. Guys, anyone in the chat asking, you're going to see two questions, right? There's going to be two questions. No, three questions. What is the CPI? Did CPI come out? And should I buy gold? Now, the gold questions are usually from Forex traders in India. I have no idea why. But I need your help in responding to these three questions so I don't lose my mind. Yes, the CPI came out. It was 2.6 as expected. And I don't trade Forex. Okay? So I need you to help me out so I don't go crazy. Why did you want a bigger pullback on Tesla? What do you mean, why did I want a bigger pullback on Tesla? Sorry, okay, I don't. I want to pay top dollar for it. Kenan says, I'm going to Saddam them. I wonder if I can give someone a ban hammer. I don't know if I can. But I don't know. For some reason, like, and this is just a matter of fact. This isn't like a... this isn't like an inappropriate remark, but I have no idea why it's always Forex traders from India who ask me about gold. Like, don't Forex traders in India trade other things? Also, I'm not a Forex trader. That's the craziest part. There are tons of Forex traders online. I don't know why they got to jump on my stream and ask me about Forex. Now, I do trade gold. I trade gold futures. But they're asking about AUX USD. And that ain't me, homie. I wonder if we bounce from here. We haven't yet gotten to that level. There is divergence between NQ and E. No, there isn't. Actually, wait, there isn't. So ES took PM high. So did NQ. Is that it? Is that all it wanted? Man. What time is it? 8:53. Okay. I would have really loved to short this if we took... How about that VIX? Why would you want to trade VIX, dude? The election is over, and November and December are usually two of the most bullish months. The VIX trade was an October trade. Why would you want to trade it here? Yeah, I think Kava continues to grow, dude. That was one that I missed. Already talked about TLT. Rewind the tape. Notorious Trader says he's drunk as fuck. I assume you're saying that because of the shades? No. The only person that's drunk as fuck is your mom, and she's still in bed. I can't get her up. I tried, and I gave up. Can you give your opinion on the 10-year and 3-month on inverting? What more opinion do you want besides what I've said about it 10,000 bazillion million times? Ask me a more specific question about it. Will Fed cut in December? Yes. They will cut by 25 basis points, especially after this inflation reading. Man, I wanted to take this short here after we closed that IFVG. Oof, that would have been a 40-point short. The only thing is this, I wish was in that fair value gap. This was not an optimal. I mean, I guess we took yesterday's PM high, but there's so much above us. It wouldn't have been gold boat. I thought it would take previous day high at least. Yeah, that would have been the more sensical move. If it took yesterday's previous day high, then I would look for a short. But as I said, this right here, this first move is the manipulative move, and then we're going to expand down at least back to this area, this base, right? We have 8:30 and midnight price right here. He removed his picture. Yeah, he knows. He knows the opposition research. How much on average are you making from strictly futures trading on a monthly basis? From strictly futures trading, I'll show you my stats real quick. Don't you know, bump it up. What? So this was my October here. Also, I mean, I don't know why you're asking, but because I like to be transparent, I'm going to respond to you. I will give you a caveat in a second and say why, depending on where you are in your trading journey, why you shouldn't focus on how much. But those are my stats for October. And then so far in November, I took 2 days off in November. But these are my stats for November. So I didn't trade on the 1st, I didn't trade on the 6th. And on Tuesday, I took a bigger hit than I'd like, which if you saw the stats for October, there were 2 pretty big hits on Tuesday as well. I don't know. There's something going on Tuesday that I got to look into. But overall, doing well. So about 33K for October. And right now I'm tracking about 7 for November, but it's still early. But yeah, I mean, that's just day trading futures. That's not options. That's not obviously swings. That's not long-term holds. It's not buying the dip. If you're just asking me about futures, yeah, that's just futures. And to be honest, it's a little bit more because that doesn't take into account my Thinkorswim account, which I trade alongside the Tradeovate. But it's a lot easier to just export all the data from NinjaTrader once as opposed to having to go to different platforms. So it is more than that, but let's just be conservative. That is TradeZella. You happy, Gary? I bought heavy into Tesla when Z made videos about it. Yep, I told you guys the shit was going to $1 trillion market cap in 2024. Impressed how good you are to bounce back from losses. That's the key. For sure. Being able to look at those days in isolation and not as something that has trickle-down effect. It has zero effect on the next day, right? Like, you can even make mistakes on a day where maybe you over-traded or revenge traded more than you'd like. That's fine. The next day, it has nothing to do with that, right? The next day has nothing to do with that. So you have to just take each trade on its own at face value. We chop for the rest of the week? No, I don't think so. If you turn your microphone towards your head, we can hear you much better. Like this? Can you hear me? You're saying that you can hear me better like this? I'm just messing with you. You have a dynamic microphone which is directionally sensitive. Yes, this microphone is the GOAT. This is a $99 Shure microphone that most of the time you would use this to mic up like drums and other instruments. So it's a very directional mic. So you put it, right in front of the drums or right in front of the acoustic guitar or violins or whatever. This is used by musicians. So I had this because it was my old studio mic when I used to do music production. And I still love the sound of it more than like the $600 Shure mics. This is a $99 mic. If you're a musician, you know all about this mic. You might not recognize it because it has the foam top, and it usually is naked. But yeah. SM57, yeah, exactly. What I'm looking for here is, we're still early. Market opens in 26 minutes, but I want to see if we can capture more liquidity from up top, or if that was it. And then I might jump to gold and oil. What's up, Ravi? Ravi, where are you based? I have a question for you. Let's go Dogecoin. Dogecoin's going to $1. Do you like TSM? Those calls came in. What calls? I think there was an overreaction on TSM because of the fact that there was something to do with, I don't want to misquote it exactly, but there was something to do with Trump and Taiwan. I don't want to misquote it. I'll look for the story later. But there was something to do with Trump and Taiwan, and TSM dropped after the election, right? There was a little rally, and then we had this drop here. I'm not in TSM. The one that I think is a long-term hold is ASML. And I think that it will be a long-term hold, meaning it could take months to play out. But this thing was trading at 1,100, currently trading at around 665. And it has been on a basically 22-year uptrend. You can see it here. And I did a whole deep dive looking at the numbers and whatever. From yesterday's TSM, those calls you posted. No, it wasn't TSM. The calls that I posted. No. The calls that I posted were for that day on SMCI, where I said we might get a short-term rally from that level. From 20, it went up to like 21 and change. And those calls went up like 100% because volatility ticked up. It wasn't TSM. It was SMCI from like the 20 level, but those are already closed. What percentage of your portfolio hold for selling cash secured puts? I can't answer that question. I have many different portfolios for different things. There isn't like one portfolio and then I allocate, right? I have a portfolio, and I talked about this before, but I have a portfolio that's sitting in a 5% yielding money market fund, a Schwab money market fund. And what Schwab lets you do is use that money that's earning 5% as collateral for cash secured puts. So it's earning 5%, and I get to use it for cash secured puts. So that's a different portfolio than my long-term portfolio. You posted TSM 1213 200 call hitting the tape. Bro, what Twitter are you following? Thoughts on commodities? probably going to wait until market open for a trade, but I could already see that it is respecting scalp levels here. I don't know if I want to see the CNBC anymore. What do you think of Pepe coin? I'm all in, bro. I'm all in. I called up my mortgage broker yesterday. Or not yesterday, sorry, last week. Refinanced the equity in my house. And I dumped it in Pepe coin. It's going to hit big. Yeah, this is a low resistance run here so far. Let's see. Are we at the 50% mark of this rally? Yes. Just Kareem? Are you Egyptian? Also, do you have a cooking channel? I know it's a super random question. There's a guy that I follow who does like cooking videos. Hi, Michelle. All right, now I got to be respectful, guys. Don't come at me. I like potentially oil here for a PO3. No, Kareem, I wasn't being sarcastic. There's a guy that I follow. I think his channel's name is just Kareem. I'm not kidding. And I think he's Egyptian and he does cooking videos. Like he shows you how to make shawarmas and stuff at home. The high is wild. That's my girl, dumbass. It's not just some random person in the comments. Which coin is that again? No, dude, I was kidding. Oh my God, I gotta watch what I say. I think there's a PO3 on oil here. I'll look at NVIDIA in a second. Yeah, I think there's a long on oil here. Look at that. I think there's a long on oil here. Guys, hit that like. Let's get it to 500. 3,300 of you came through here, and there's 800 of you on right now. So hit that like, or I just take the stream to the Discord. Riot? Yeah, I made a killing on Riot. Bought it at $9. How is your state taking the big L last week? I have no idea what you're talking about. How is my state taking the big L last week? I don't know what you mean, bro. The Dodgers won the World Series. I'm looking for confirmation on this. So what's happening right now is we are at the 50% of this move. We did tag off of that anchored VWAP level. This is on NQ and on ES, but I don't think that there's confirmation enough to long or short yet. I am looking at a potential CL play here. Depends on how this 5-minute gap holds up. We did tag that 3-minute BPR. At OTE. I'm contemplating whether I want to wait for a market structure shift here. We have equal lows on the daily. Let me see. Yeah, I'm looking for a CL long here. If you look at this character, one, we have London high that's unmitigated. Two, we took out these equal lows. with the liquidity sweep. The only thing is we do have a daily low from previous down here. I don't know that we get there. This right here will determine whether we get there or not. Oh, yeah. And if we certainly close above, then I'll consider a long here. I don't want to be in a position on the indices close to market open since it is CPI day. I am going to wait for the market to open the next 4 minutes, 3 minutes and change. But what I want to see is some sort of sweep at open on the indices. Yeah, like this. If we can sweep this low, if we can sweep this low at NQ on the open, we do also have equal lows down here, which, oh, that is London. That's interesting. Did ES take out London? No. I wonder. I wonder if that's the draw. We have these equal lows. 1, 2, 3, 4 at London. Thank you for doing this live. Hopefully I can learn something today. We'll sign up to the free mastermind, dude. It's at the top of the chat. November 24th, doing a free mastermind, a free trading mastermind. Obviously, if you're part of the mastermind, don't sign up for this. But if you're not, then sign up for this. It's Sunday, 12 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah, I think we get to this level on NQ. CL's still holding up here. CL actually swept its equal lows. The only unanswered question for me on CL is, does it take out this daily low, which it doesn't have to. It's not a must, but oh, market just opened. Gonna wait on this a little bit, see if it gives us some more confirmation. I think that we are headed towards these lows down here. There isn't a trade on gold here. This looks too janky for me to trade. I'm not interested in gold today. We do have bullish divergence between NQ and ES. At OTE here. So that right there is SMT. We can't see your entry. What entry? VIX going down. The VIX is not going to be a consideration for the rest of the year. Obviously, unless a black swan happens. But other than that, you're going to lose money trying to trade the VIX here. So we have a breaker here. 930. SMT divergence. We swept that low. We still have these unresolved, though. Do we really just go up before coming back down to take these? Oh, CL did take out that. Okay. CL did take out those equal lows. Let's see if we can get confirmation here. I don't have an entry, dude. I was trying to book the masterclass, but no dates on your platform. Olive, what are you talking about? Send me the link to what you're using. Wow, ES isn't even moving. That's interesting. Thinking about, so we bounce off of midnight. ES is at 9:30. I'm thinking about taking a short down to these equal lows. I want to see how this candle closes. So that 3-minute BPR is right there. Six minutes until the macro. Interesting. So we have bearish SMT here. We just need ES to close below this. if NQ is going to get down there. But I think NQ gets down here, 21,114.75. VWAP 1 minute fair value gap 930. SMT, we just need ES to reject here. Then I'm going to go short down to this level. All right. Can we close below this? I want to get down to that yellow line. Down there. Let's go. If we get down there, it's 1,000 per contract. Up 7. Eight. Might as well set my stop to break even here. Bouncing off 830, breaker, FVG. I don't want to see it close above this. CPI shenanigans could. But I want to be stubborn about that yellow line right there. I don't want to close above this. What's ES doing? Hold on. Ay, ay, ay. This is going to break me even right here. Let's see. Let's see. Do we get to Valhalla? Did we just round trip this entire motherfucker right here? Did we really just round trip that entire thing? Don't. Just go. Stop teasing. I think he's being sarcastic, Schooly. This is so volatile. How many of you guys are having a heart attack? Seeing this go to 800 per con, back to 100. Man, I was up 500. Why are you going off of someone else's risk tolerance? If you're going to cry about it, just bank it. Can you please just get to London low? This motherfucker. It's just dancing around midnight. Okay, so there's London low. Equalos. 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 Dancing Around Midnight has to be a Billy Ocean 80s song? Yeah, probably. Wait, is that the guy that people say I look like? No. What's that other guy's name? Billy Idol? I don't know. The Italian guy that plays piano. Billy Joel. That's it. All right. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to go get some more coffee. And this shit better be at the yellow line by the time I come back. I'll be right back. What? It's not at the yellow line yet. Are we still in the macro? Okay. You have 12 minutes to get in line. Oh, you son of a bitch. This is so fucking funny. All right, let's take some votes. Does it get there or no? Does it get there or no? I think so. Tags, then rips. Well, I have a limit order there. So if it tags, I'm outie. But I agree about the reversal. Let's go. Let's go. Boom. Boom. Yellow line, motherfuckers. That's exactly 1,000. That's exactly 1,000. Let me just take out my stop. Whole conviction. All right, how many of you made money on that trade? Put a W in the chat. Let's see if you guys are as cool as the Discord crew. Yeah, that's what we like to see. Boom. For those of you that didn't catch it, this trade round tripped almost 3 times, tagging my stop limit at break even because I was very stubbornly waiting for that yellow line. Wow, the W's are still coming in. I told you guys, have conviction. Wait, I want to see who said it wouldn't get there. When did you get in? Bro, I've been holding this trade for 15 minutes. And I got to pee. This guy. Who's Avirup? I said, will it get to the yellow line? Avirup says, absolutely no. All right, Avirup, hopefully you don't trade live. Can you do a video on futures trading? I'm going to do you one better. I'm doing a free mastermind on futures trading. It's this first link that's in the description. That was wild to watch. Yes. I will also do a review of the trade right now. And for those of you that want to trade live with me every day, you know where to find me. You know where to find me. Only 418 likes? All right, I'm definitely logging off. The hell? I just made y'all money. I saw more than 418 W's. The fuck? This is how you repay me? Just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in. You expect a bounce? That was my drawn liquidity. I'll go over the trade right now, dude. I'll go over the trade right now. If you want to join me and trade live with me every day, just like that, click that link. We go live every day. Motherfuckers that spend $100 on Hulu and Netflix and HBO Max. Trust me, you're better off watching someone trade live. You'll learn a lot more. The trade was this. That was my drawn liquidity since we opened up the stream. Right? Equal lows. And this was at London low. So the manipulation is what we wait for during news events, right? You guys always hear me say this about FOMC, CPI. There's a manipulation, and then there's the real move. Now, once you have your drawn liquidity, the entire the next goal, your entire goal is to find. Once you have the drawn liquidity, your entire goal is to find your entry. So I knew that this was the manipulation, right? Then it looked like we were going to do a low resistance liquidity run, meaning just lower highs and lower lows on the way down. But being that it's CPI, nothing comes that easy, right? So my first signal that we were bearish is when we closed below, that we were going to do a bearish continuation. So when we closed below this 3-minute fair value gap. Now it's expected that we bounce off VWAP. We also do have a breaker here, right? So we bounced back up, and I took the short from, where was my short from? Shit, it's closed now. But I think it was 21.16 something, somewhere around here. And my stop limit was here. Right? My stop limit was here, and my short entry was here, and my target was here. It was about a 2.5 to 1 or 3 to 1 trade. So then we retraced back into that 3-minute fair value gap, retraced back into it, and then obviously bounced off of VWAP a million times before then finally coming down to that yellow line. But that was my draw on liquidity, right? And it's important to note we were still in the macro, right? What are we talking about? The 950 to 1010 macro, right? We're still in the macro, and the macro is still going, by the way. So once you have your draw on liquidity figured out, everything else is just figuring out your entry. And if you don't know what the macros are, in the education section of the Discord, if you're not on the Discord, actually, you should all be part of the Discord, even if it's just the free one. But anyway, just look at the description of this video on YouTube, and you'll see the links. But these are the kill zones. These are the macros. So you can see here 950 to 1010, right? This is when we get an algo run. Now, this is obviously not going to tell you if you're long or short. This is just going to tell you that if there is a position, these are the times, and the AM ones are, to me, the most violent. You do get a lot of violence in the last hour, but the ones that I really focus on, I want to be out of the market before lunch, New York time. So these are the macros that I focus on. So you can see here the 950 to 1010, right? If there's a setup, that's when we get an algo run. And so that move down happened during the macro. This is 950 down there. Yeah, and it was a 50-point move, which is $1,000 per contract. So hopefully that makes sense. If you want to trade live with me every day, click that link that's right now in the top of the chat. If you want to trade live with me every day. Oh, we might be looking for a long here now that we swept that. I'll wait for this to get swept here. Is this Tuesday's low? I think so. Yeah, that's Tuesday's low. I might wait for Tuesday's low to get swept first before looking for a long, and then I'll send it out in the Discord if I take it. So I think, yeah. And 10 a.m. we usually see a reversal anyway. I think there's a long here. It didn't want to take Tuesday's low. But I think there's a long here. Anyway, I'll send out the next trade in the Discord, but appreciate you guys joining me on the live stream. Hopefully I made some of you guys money. Hopefully you guys learned something about CPI. CPI came in line. Do I trade live like this daily? Yes, I go live at market open on video every day at market open. So if that's something you're interested in, let me know. Priscilla Gonzalez says, you definitely had conviction. I would have been out through all of that. Yeah, a lot of people would. A lot of people would. Honestly, Priscilla, like that type of conviction only comes with experience, right? Like when you're still learning and still, focusing on the amount of your P&L, it's very hard to see that and not bank it. And I don't begrudge anyone that, right? Also, honestly, it is kind of a challenge. Like, I like to challenge myself as well, where yes, being so close to my TP and not TPing it, I like to have conviction in my draws and liquidity, but not every day is like that. There are days when your draw and liquidity is not clear. There are days when price action is more choppy. There are days when price action is more suboptimal, and it will have signatures throughout the day where it's telling you that. But it does feel good to, go on that roller coaster, I guess. Being up 800, then up 50, then basically being up only 50, then back up to 300, then back up to 100, then back up to 700. As long as your draw on liquidity is still valid. I think this rejects one more time before taking out Tuesday's low. And the macro is over anyway, so might have to catch it in the next one. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. I do have to. Oh shit! I gotta get to the airport. All right, guys. I'm gonna sign off the stream. If I take another trade, I'll send it on the Discord. But I appreciate you guys. Leave a like on your way out, at least just for the education. Nobody else is teaching you like this, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.